Hi there, it's another week, another recipe. Today we are talking dessert, caramel ice cream and butter pie from the 1909 Elm Park Methodist Episcopal Church Cookbook in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Come join me for this delicious culinary experiment. Welcome back to my kitchen. Thank you for joining me again. My name's Courtney Morris and I cook historical recipes that the past has forgotten. We're going to start with the caramel ice cream so it has time to freeze up while I make the pie. And this ice cream is not what you think of in terms of an old-fashioned ice cream. There's no rock salt, no churning. In fact, you make it in a cast iron skillet first. So let's head over to the stove, try not to burn anything, and hope that this turns out because I do love a good caramel. Okay, so I'm gonna half this recipe. I've got all my ingredients. I don't want that much ice cream, especially if it fails. I don't want to have that much waste, so I'm just gonna do half measurements. So it says a pint of brown sugar in a cast iron skillet until dissolved. So let's turn that on and I guess see what happens there. I chose dark brown sugar because there's more molasses in it, which would give you more of a richer caramel flavor. And then I need 1 cup of milk at a boiling point. So I need to get this to almost boiling. So I've worked with confectionery and candy making for quite a few years of my life, and if there's one thing I've learned, it's that you pay attention to it. And so I didn't talk through this whole section because I was trying not to burn anything. New recipes are always a little daunting. Okay, that's looking pretty promising. I mean, there are some chunks in there, the sugar, but it seems that if you keep stirring it with the heat on, some of them are breaking down and starting to dissolve a little bit. I'm trying not to burn this, but gosh, it smells kind of good. That is the reason why they said to strain it, because I don't think you can get away from those chunks. I wonder if they'd make good candy just to like eat by themselves. I'll have to try it when they cool off. I'm gonna strain this now. Okay, so I'm going to pass this through a strainer into my mixing bowl, because then we're going to add the cream. This is really heavy and hot. I can't do it. There we go. Okay. I will never be known for my upper body strength, especially on my left arm. That's just, I've come to terms with that. Okay, so I can see why you need to strain this. These are all the chunky candy bits that's left. I'm curious to see how they taste, but I'm not going to put those in the ice cream because it said to strain it, and it didn't say to put the this stuff in. So, okay, and so this nice caramely stuff is what we are left with. It's still super hot, and now we're going to add our cream. So this would be the part where I am supposed to have an ice cream mold, I'm assuming. I know Victorians were big into the ice cream molds. I know the Edwardians were too, especially the presentations, but I don't. So I'm gonna get a bowl and freeze it that way. That's gonna take a while. All right, I'm gonna sit this in my freezer and let's get started on the butter pie. Okay, so these little chunks, these crunchy chunks of sugar that we strained out are so good. They're basically crunchy caramel, and if that ice cream doesn't work out, I'm not gonna be mad because I got candy out of this. I almost wanna mix it back into the ice cream so you have some chunks, but I think I'm just gonna sit here and eat them all, and then we'll get to our pie. Okay, so we are on to the pie now. So I had some pie crust that I already had made, so I lined my shallow pie tin with, and put that to the side. So now, the first ingredient is butter. It says to take a piece of nice butter, not too salty, large as a hen's egg. I'm gonna get an egg for reference. Maybe Does that look okay? I think that looks all right. All right, this is still frozen on the side, so I'm gonna heat this up. Okay, and then 2/3 cup of sugar, and then 1 cup of sweet cream, and sweet cream just means whipping cream. It was to distinguish between like your sour creams or like your fresh straight cream right off the top of the milk. 1 tablespoon of flour, and it just said vanilla, so sure. That does not look like a lot. Okay, so this reminds me of a custard. I'm betting you anything this is going to turn out like a flan or some sort of custard pie. Just look at the consistency. I'm glad I chose my shallow pie dish. Tempted to make another batch just to fill it up more, but okay, so now it says to take the rest of your pie crust and make strips across.
To be honest, I was a little worried about how this was going to turn out because the pie filling was so shallow in the pan, these strips, as I put them on, started almost to sink, and it actually ended up being okay. The bottom strips did sink a bit, but they ended up soaking up a lot of liquid, which made it really, really good. And then I just brushed it with an egg wash. I baked it at 350 until it was golden brown like the recipe said, and you know, it didn't turn out bad looking.
Okay, moment of truth here. The pie has been sitting for about 5 hours, I think. So it's had time to cool off, because this was definitely one of those pies where you don't want to move it until it cools off. Although I'm kind of thinking that it's not all the way done. I'm not sure. We'll find out. The ice cream, however, is done for sure, and oh my goodness, it looks like ice cream consistency. But let's take a first bite here. Oh my gosh. That is the most perfect caramel flavor I have ever had, especially in an ice cream. The texture is chewy, the caramel is rich, and it would have been so good had I mixed in those little chunks I strained out. Oh my gosh, I can't stop eating those. Make that. This is going in my recipe book, my own personal one. This is stellar. Oh, that's so good. Okay, this, on the other hand, I'm a little weary about, because it said to bake until slightly browned, and I did, and it looks fine. It looks like a pie, but check this out. Like, I don't know if you can see that whoop. I just poured some on the floor. I can see in the middle of this, like in the pockets, and I can see there's a crust on some of it, but it's pretty liquidy. I'm gonna get a bowl. I'm gonna use a spoon because I can see how liquidy that is, and I don't trust that on a plate, but I think it's supposed to be like a custard, but I don't think it's supposed to be runny. Let's see if it's edible. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Wow. Okay, so despite this being runny, this is going in the cookbook too. This, oh my gosh, I have no words. This is so good. This is so good. Like, I can't even explain it. It's a beautiful, like, combination of buttery crust, sweet cream, vanilla. I need a cup of coffee and my ice cream. I'm gonna take a bite with the ice cream too and see how that melds together. That is the best combination I have ever had in a dessert. These Edwardians freaking knew what to do, knew how to cook. Now, As far as the runniness goes, I personally might put another tablespoon of flour in it and maybe let it cook just a little longer. I know it's not supposed to be this runny. I can tell it got thick. It did get thick in some places, and a lot of the crust that I put on the top soaked it up, but I am gonna do this again for every holiday. This was such a colossal win. I am so happy. I will leave the recipes for this in the description below if you want to try them. I haven't perfected this yet, so I'm just gonna give you the recipe as is. I don't know if it'll come out drippy for you if I just didn't cook it long enough. If you liked this video as much as I did, please like and subscribe. Send me a comment, hit the little bell notification. I try to upload every Monday. And hopefully next Monday, I'll have something just as good. You never know when you experiment with old stuff, but we hit jackpot on this. All right, I'll see you next week. Have a great